We all know how crazy life gets, and one thing that's always there is dance. Dance is one of the things that you can lean on, and this episode is all about how to find the best timing for you to start dance, to continue dance, or to increase your consistency with dance. Hello, my beautiful, extra beautiful today, gorgeous dancer, and welcome to another episode of More Than Dance. Today, we're going to be talking about slowing down and breathing through the struggle and using dance as a way to help you through it. So we all have those weeks. And right now, currently, we're in the month of June. June is always just a really interesting month. It's a transitional month. It's a month that's like over, but it's beginning, and it's just like it has different energies to it. So we manage that energy by going through it, number one, but also with reflection and going through different years, seeing how things in June change and shift. June was always the month of our dance recital. And so it was always kind of like sad to end the year, but also to know that summer is coming. And June was also like the transition into summer. So that was exciting, but like school was ending like back in the day. Now June is just interesting because wedding season kicks up and things with dance as they are now, they don't really die down at all, which is awesome. I prefer it that way. Though there's different shifts within schedules, and it takes a lot sometimes to adjust and readjust. So last year in July, we had 2 episodes, I believe 31 and 32 or 32 and 33 on detours and transitions. Basically, we talked about big interruptions and how to go through that and how to also give yourself leeway when you're experiencing big life-changing moments. And today I'm coming in here to tell you, if you are going through any of those big, tough changes or big moments, whether you're moving or you're getting a new job, you're transitioning into a new lifestyle, number one, my heart is with you because I know how that can feel so tricky and so hard. And two, I want to remind you that dance is a beautiful way to alleviate some of your stress and to guide you through the messy action and to also have an outlet for your feelings. Anytime something is tough in life, I always notice that it's not tough on the dance floor. It's kind of funny. Actually, speaking of June, my boyfriend in the past, he actually passed away in June. And I remember specifically the night of his funeral, I had class at the studio. And like, I think about that now and I'm like, what was I doing? I know what I was doing. I was having class because I know that dance is one of the best and safest ways to deal with heavy emotions and to allow yourself to have a space to put feelings and to maybe even process feelings and put them into, in a way I want to say, put them into words, but it's not that you're putting the feelings into words. It's like you're putting the feelings into words, but then you go a step further and you process them through your body. So it's like a deeper kinesthetic connection towards the feelings that you're having. So it can be like doubly productive for you to dance it out versus thinking it out. And also whatever your method is, it's also good to do what you're used to doing. So June can bring some heavy feelings. And also, now that we're thinking about this, Charlie Brown, my little doggy, he passed in June. And my grandpa passed in June. And I have a friend who lots of things happen in June for her as well. And I have another friend and her mom passed away in June. And so I don't know. I don't know if that's like a thing. I don't know if you right now are like, whoa, like actually people in my life have also passed away in June as well. So as I was thinking about podcast episodes, I usually turn to my students and myself for ideas. And I like to be current with maybe what has happened that week with one of my students or another student or all students, or what is current in my life right now. And right now feels really tricky and hard and like weird navigating space, just getting adjusted to routines and switching things up. And I was like, well, that could be a really cool podcast episode because I know I'm not alone when I say things get difficult. And I know you can sit there right now and be like, yeah, one day it's difficult, the next day it's better, and then it's back to being difficult, and then it's back to being better because we know that progress is not linear and we know that life is a roller coaster, much like dance is a roller coaster. And I also just like, I really don't know, because my students, as you know, like they always reach out to me and tell me stuff in their life that's going on. And I get messages on the daily of, hey, this is going on right now. And da 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 da, I hope to see you at dance. And hey, da 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 da, this is going on right now. And I hope to see you at dance. And those things that are going on right now, they're not light things. This month. They're heavier things. They're deeper things. So I asked my friend yesterday, I was like, hey, by any chance, is Mercury in the microwave? AKA, is Mercury in retrograde? And she was like, no, it's not. And it's always nice to have that to say, or if there's like a full moon, it's always nice to have those things to say because you have something to blame it on, something to make sense of it for, and something to just say, oh, well, this is happening, so it would make sense that X, Y, Z. And sometimes finding sense is reassuring and giving of closure. And sometimes that sense is made for us because of stuff going on in the world. And also sometimes we get to be the ones that make our own sense out of things. So when you're on the dance floor, I don't know about you, but when I'm dancing, it doesn't matter the song. It doesn't matter the mode of the song. It doesn't matter the style of the song. If I'm dancing, I'm getting something out. And actually, it's so funny because I could have like the worst day and show up at the studio and like not even feel that feeling. Like, I don't know. It's just a weird vortex of space. And I talked about this before, it being something that I value so much, to be able to even have that space and to be so grateful that it exists in my life. And that's one of the things that I wish to share with the entire world, if not dance, something of that nature that someone could be so passionate about that it could literally take your worst day ever and make it better. And when I hear that, because as you know, we always do circle time, when I hear that my students have come in saying like, whoa, like today was an awful day, but now I feel better. That makes me feel so happy. And it makes me feel like, wow, it's so much more than dance, isn't it? So today I want to talk about some ideas that may be helpful for you, because if you don't have this in place, it might be a good idea to get this in place so that when you do have a struggly day, you can turn to dance versus turning to something else that might be unhealthy for you. So the first thing is, we talked about mood tracking before. I have this calendar that I keep and it has the dates on it. And actually, I'll do a podcast on this probably by itself at some point, just to go into more depth and more explanation on it. It's a tracker that I created and it asks questions and I answer them. So it's how do you feel about this? And how do you feel about this? And it's a scale of 1 to 10. And ask questions about like your hunger levels and your sleep and your fun level and your weak level, like whether you feel weak or strong. And I do it usually twice a week and it's fun. And you know, I love data. So I love to be able to like see stuff from all the years. It also is like important to understand yourself because we can be so forgetful sometimes. Like one day can be just so good that like you forget like, oh, I was really going through it like the day before, especially with women because we deal with menstruation and all the hormones that come from that. So it's really nice to get to know yourself deeper, obviously through reflection, but through a way of actually having data. And so it has these questions and it has a 0 to 10 point scale. And I always say that 5 is like neutral. It was just like, everything's good, 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 good. Nails done, your hair done, everything good. And then 10 is like, wow, that week exceeded, or that day exceeded my expectations. That day was amazing in terms of those categories. And anything below 5 is like, whoa, like what's going on? And it's nice to be able to track those things because you end up learning more about yourself and then you know where you can put more effort into. So if you notice, well, this week was really weird because of this and this and this. I noticed that my sleep was really low. So maybe if I pay more attention to my sleep, I'll be able to do X, Y, and Z. When you're tracking things about yourself, you learn more about yourself. So there's other mood trackers too. There's one that I tried before that's digital, but if you know me, I'm a pen and paper girl. So I like to do things that way. But there's one that Josh and I were doing for a while. It's like mood tracker and you put like a smiley face or a heart, but you can be like really cute with it and get like emoji stickers and like just put it in your planner and you'll be able to know exactly how you were in a type of way when you start doing it. And so the reason why it's nice to do that is because you're taking an audit of your life and you're understanding like, okay, like in any given time during the course of a month, I'll feel happy this many times, sad this many times, and this many times. And so you're really getting acquainted with everything that is you. And once you get acquainted with that and you learn about that, you can start looking for patterns. And we love patterns. And you can start finding, okay, well, during this time of the week or this time of the month or this time of the year, I get XYZ. And that is your body's way of telling you and reaching out to you to say, hey, it's time to implement something. It's time to do something different. And sometimes doing something different isn't easy. Actually, a lot of the times doing something different isn't easy because we're habitual humans. We like to do things that are the same. We like to get into routines. It helps us in a way, and it also hurts us in a way. So when we get into the routine, sometimes we get into a rut. And when we're not in a routine, sometimes we crave structure. So when you're finding yourself in those moments, your first instinct is to say, oh, I'm so sick of feeling this, or I don't like this. And that's when you say, okay, well, what am I going to do about it? And what to do? I mean, obviously, I'm going to tell you the answer is dance. That's the easiest answer that I can give you. But before we do that, we want to get something implemented. And that's some type of dance structure or routine during the high point of your week, month, year. So when you take all of your data, and you don't need to do this, by the way, you can also start dance and not think so, what does this mean? Logically? Yeah, you can do it in a way that's not so logical, but sometimes logic helps because it's backed by facts. And sometimes that fact for a factual brain, it's like really good to have the fact in front of you because it's like, it's proven, it's science. This happened on this day, and this is why this would be better because of this. Versus like, I feel as though this would be better. And usually that I feel as though this would be better, it seems so mystical and magical, but really it's also backed by science, and that science is the psychology of the science. So it's not like math and data analytics, but it's psychology analytics. So either way you look at it, backed by science, that dance is good for you. So when we get into the mode where we can have the data, I'll go with this for a little while because we've talked so much about data. You have the data in front of you and you're like, okay, during like the third week of the month, menstruation, that's always going to be like an interesting time for people to analyze. And if you're a man listening to this right now and you don't menstruate, well, you do. I promise you that you have a period. But yeah, there's periods to you as well. And it's important to pay attention to those. And when you're feeling good and you're feeling like you've got it, that's when you jump in. You don't want to wait until you're feeling, about something to jump in on something, because it's harder for the momentum to happen, which means if it's harder for momentum to happen, it's harder for motivation to happen. So if you're feeling good and you're doing great things, it can also be hard to start it because everything's good. Everything's great. Why do I need to change anything? Everything's awesome. It's important to remember that it's not awesome all the time. So when you're feeling great and your moods and everything's elevated and high, jump in on your new thing. Jump in on your new habit, your new routine, your new activity, your new hobby, your new play date, your new relationship. Hop in on something new when you're high, when your levels are up, and watch yourself build consistency and momentum, because the desperation that you get into when things are so low, it's hard to build the motivation because confusion builds. And I'll explain it this way. So you're starting something brand new like dance. You got into the class. You're not feeling good. You're not having a good week as it is. So you go in. This will make me feel better. I'm going to dance. This is going to be good. And then you have your first tricky moment, and it shocks you more than it would have shocked you if you were in your high point of life, your high point of the week, your high point of the day. But it shocks you so hard that instead of encouraging you and motivating you and giving you momentum to continue it, it deters you, discourages you, and makes you feel like you're defeated. Like actually you're defeated. So now the world is turning against you because everything's hard. And then Now your new hobby, your new dance, your new lifeline is hard. So how can you find yourself in a moment of excitement levels to discover a new activity, to discover yourself on the dance floor, to reacquaint yourself on the dance floor? Dance is one of those things that a lot of people have done it as a kid. And if they didn't do it thoroughly, they did it a little bit, enough to know that it's movement, it's exercise, it's fun, it's social, it's an art form, and it's pretty. It's hot, it's sexy, and it's pretty badass, especially when you add heels to it. So when you're thinking about, ooh, what could I add in? Why not dance? Why wouldn't dance be the idea that you would have for yourself? You see it, you watch it on the YouTube videos, you watch it on Instagram, you see people doing it, you see people's lives changing because of dance. I might want to implement that more than I already do. I would implement that if I were you. So once you implement it, how exciting. You've got this new skill, this new activity that you're putting into your life, and you're in your high point of your life because you've done your work to kind of reflect and know like what's going on. Well, I know that also sometimes that cycle doesn't come back around. Like you could be in a cycle of not so good things for longer than you even wish to admit. Then you are in a rut. And then it's like, okay, really something needs to change. So you have no other option other than to join in when you're down. And the big key for you, if that's you, is to not let the first point of discouragement deter you from knowing that it was the right thing for you. Because we have an episode, I don't even know when it's going to come out because it was recorded recently. And it's about when you get the calling to dance. And that calling is meaningful to you because it's your younger you and your future you speaking to you. And it's also the universe trying to get you to see like, hey, do it. This is something worthwhile. This is something worth investing in. This is something that's going to change your life. Watch. I can't think of one person that's come to the studio and their life hasn't changed for the better. I can't. I see so many transformational stories and they're all inspirational. All of them. We have people who completely change their lives. They understand themselves better. They get better jobs. They get promotions. They get out of horrible relationships. They start traveling more. They get better in terms of confidence, which leads them to meeting their person, which makes them feel secure and safe in a relationship. Like there are so many testimonials to how dance is so transformational. And so if you right now are sitting there listening to this and you already dance or you dance a little bit, you might dial it up a little bit. You might see where you might add more consistency of dance because it makes your life better or it makes the hard parts more easily able to deal with. I'm so grateful that I have dance every day. Like I know I'm teaching it. And also like because I'm teaching it, I'm doing it and I'm getting the same feelings, maybe even more special feelings because I have a passion for teaching as well. So it's really lovely that I get to dance every day. And even sometimes like when it's right now, like it's the middle of the day and I'm dying for dance class. I'm always counting down the hours till class. And it just gives you something to live for. It gives you something to be so excited about. And when you have that excitement, you also have purpose and you also have meaning and you have people like looking for you. Like, hey, I didn't see you at class. Like, where were you? That's so cute. That is like so cute. So today, on this day, whenever you're listening to this, whether it's on the day that it releases or a year or 3 years later, you're listening to this for a reason. And you're getting the calling to dance, or you're getting the calling to continue dance, or you're getting the calling to dance more. Listen to it and implement it into your lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's not just like, oh, this is something I do. You are a dancer. You are the identity of a dancer. And no one can take that away from you. And even like people who are bringing dance back into their lives. Oh, I used to be a dancer. Oh, I haven't danced. You're still a dancer. All that muscle memory is living inside of your muscles right now. Your brain is like, yes, bring it out. Bring them out. Bring them out. It's like, yay, I get to dance again? Heck yes. And the way that our bodies respond to it is insane. Not to mention that it's good for Alzheimer's prevention. Dance is the best thing that you can do for yourself. So I hope that today, when you're considering dancing and becoming a dancer, I hope that you listen and I hope that you honor that little piece of yourself inside of you who's screaming to dance. And I hope that you know that when life is messy and things are chaotic and things are crazy, it's definitely okay to take a minute and breathe and think and relax and know that dance has always got your back. And so does your dance teacher, and so do your dance babes. So if this was helpful for you today, it would absolutely mean the world to me if you shared this with someone who needs to hear this. Someone needs to hear this, and you know who they are. Send this to them. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the dance floor.